Hey, what's up? This your boy King. Hey, I want to talk to y'all about a real issue going on today that been going on for years. I'm talking about the abuse of the child support law. Now, to my understanding, the child support law was supposed to make quote and unquote the deadbeat dad support their child. But when you do a study, an in-depth study on majority of the cases of child support in the state of Georgia, over 95% of those cases are guys who is definitely not the father of the child. And that the state of Georgia knows that, but does nothing to correct that almost 100 years error. And speaking on the state of Georgia law, the state of Georgia law is only one way. If you're a male in the state of Georgia, you barely have any rights. But if you're a female in the state of Georgia, you can lie on somebody and just about get away with anything, and the court does little or nothing about it. As a matter of fact, the courts in the state of Georgia lean more on the female side than justice. And according to justice, there is no justice in the Georgia judicial system. A man has to go through hell and hot water in a boat of lava to get justice out of the state of Georgia. And don't let me get to tell you about the suffering that a man goes through on child support. Georgia is willing to put a man on child support for a child that not heal as long as they can get money out of that man. The whole issue is not about the welfare and well-being of the child. It's money. State of Georgia do not care about these kids. It's the money that state of Georgia cared about. Because if state of Georgia really care about them kids, they will make the mother of the child prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this man that she put on child support is the father by making that man submit to a DNA test. Prove beyond a reasonable doubt. But do the state of Georgia does that? No. No. Just because the man, I ain't gonna say fail, but because the man didn't have no means of getting to or hearing because of his living condition or his living situation, they automatically assumes that he's the father without even taking a DNA test, a paternity test. And they said the state of Georgia is run by equal protection of the law. There's no such thing as equal protection of the law upon the Georgia child support law. There's no such thing as equal protection of the law in the state of Georgia. Period. I'm just letting everybody in the United States know about the state that I live in. I don't hate the state of Georgia. I just hate the things that the state of Georgia does. I hate I hate the things that the state of Georgia government does. Ever since I've been in the state of Georgia, I never seen the state of Georgia do anything right. I remember when Atlanta police shot into one of my friend's house and killed their baby. I done seen a lot of things. I done seen innocent people get sent to jail for a crime they didn't do. I seen innocent people get railroaded by the public pretenders who pretend to have the best interests of their client. In the state of Georgia, the presumption of innocence is not even there. The presumption of innocence, the Constitution said that every man is presumed innocent until proven guilty. In the state of Georgia, you are guilty until proven innocent. In some counties in the state of Georgia, like DeKalb County, don't even follow the United States Constitution. The county, you got officers in the county jail that abuses the inmates. Just because they're behind bars, they think that they're less than human beings. I done seen officers in Fulton County jail do the same thing. I done seen officers in the state of Georgia penal system literally beat down a man and killed him when I was at Dooley State Prison. Then when the issue get on TV, they lock the prison system down. Then they call the parents and the family of the deceased, saying that either they was killed by an inmate or they died suddenly. When the truth is, the correctional system deliberately killing inmates. The judicial systems is not for the poor. And I'm really fed up about it. Every time voter come around, I never hear one of the candidates talk about a much needed issue to be talked about. They never make anything right. That goes including for Obama and all the rest of the presidents that got in office. They never done anything right. It's all for themselves. Donald Trump talking about some making America great. Only thing he did was think about the money that he gets from the White House, from the government by sitting in the White House. It ain't about the people no more. They need to start getting on TV talking about they're about the people. If they're more about the people and be more concerned about the people, they should go to each and every neighborhood, whether it be rich or poor, and talk to people. Go to the homeless community and talk to people. Ain't now one of these people that get in the office ever said they were going to do something for the homeless or the needy. They never said it. The only reason why I vote so I can make my voice known. Don't mean I agree to none of the BS lies that these politicians get on TV and lie about. Every politic that got on TV from the White House all the way down to the mayor's office tell a bunch of lies. And America knows that. America needs to wake up and say we are tired of lying. We are tired of these politicians lying on TV, committing federal perjury. Let's say a 20-degree perjury. Because they get on TV and they lie to the whole United States about they gonna do this, and they swear under oath when they get in the office to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, which is the Constitution is the highest law of the land. All these politicians get in the office and they violate the Constitution, rights of people, for their own political gain. And now one of the politicians that gets in office ever done anything that the Constitution required them to do, knowing that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. I don't care about them talking about trying to say you trying to stop a war abroad. What about the war goes on in your own home? You talking about feeding people in other countries and stuff. What about your country where that really are needed? Why don't you get your government straight? You got people getting you got people getting misused and abused by the judicial system. You got police officers who abuses their position. They fail to realize that when you become you become a servant of the public. That's exactly what you are. You're not their prosecutor, but you are their protector. Police officers are hired to not only protect the property of the person, but protect the rights of the person. Police officers are not hired to be our executioner. Some of the police officers don't even know what it means to de-escalate a situation, because that is not what they are trained to do. They're trained to shoot and kill and ask a question later, which is unconstitutional. I'm talking about the reason why I'm bouncing around on every subject, to let you know that I've been paying attention to everything that goes on in my country, from police brutality all the way up to electing the president. And to me, ain't now president is ready to become president, because I don't believe none of these presidents actually study the Constitution. They don't know what the Constitution really means. They do not uphold the Constitution. What is their constitutional duty? Their oath of information. These presidents do not uphold the Constitution.
Give me that drink, sweetie, please.
What they doing now?
I put my information in.
All right. And I just want y'all to know, people. I just want y'all to know. I just want y'all to know what's going on today. Because if that was equal protection of the law, half of these cases they'd be going before the court won't even stand. Instead of these judges judging the case by the virtue of the case, by the preponderance of evidence, these judges base their decision on personal experiences, which make them, which really should disqualify them, because to be a judge you gotta be non-biased. You cannot be for the defendant or the plaintiff, or you can't be for you can't be for the respondent. Can't be for neither party. You gotta be non-biased. But these judges these days are not non-biased. How can you determine a case when there's no evidence to propon on? when the law said that no judgment shall be held by mere hearsay alone, but by preponderance of evidence. People losing their freedom, losing their life. I done seen people commit suicide because they've been in prison for so many years that they don't know how to live in the free world. This group of men have had pride and dignity for years. This man go to prison and get raped by other prisoners. State of Georgia, I'm telling you, thank God none of that didn't happen to me when I was in your prison. I done seen what happened to inmates in your prison. I done seen what happened to inmates in your county jail. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and I wish I haven't seen it. Just like when I seen them correctional officers, 4 guys jumping on one man. Then one night I was in the hole at Alto State Prison. And the kitchen staff said that the inmate touched her butt. And they literally beat the man almost to death, drug him down flights of steps that you can hear his head bounce off of each step as he pleaded for his life. The officer started beating on him. And they taking it as a game. They don't respect another man's life. But that's what the state of Georgia is sending our brothers and sisters to get treated like they ain't not even human beings. But you say equal protection of the law. Due process. When then the state of Georgia gonna start investigating the death of inmates inside the prison? I used to be an inmate in the Georgia Department of Corrections for 10 years. From Duda State Prison, I seen things get done from Jackson Diagnostic Classification Center all the way up to the last prison I was in. Officer goes in an inmate. One time I was practicing Islam at Lee State Prison, and officer, they call themselves shaking the dorm down. They goes in my locker, rip up my Quran. And thought that I wasn't gonna file a grievance on it. One time I was at Augusta State Medical Prison, and I filed a grievance on not what happened to me, but what happened to other inmates. And don't you believe that the warden of that prison put a gag order out saying that the officers are not saying that if an officer speak to me, that they will lose their job because I don't witness some dirty stuff that the warden himself allows to go in his prison. That warden need to be investigated himself because he's party to a crime. Matter of fact, all these wardens that get in the office, and they allow their officers to literally beat an inmate almost to death, is party to a crime, and they should be punished as so. They doing they get tough on inmates. What tougher can you get when you take a man away from his family? Then you beat him like he's a you treat him worse than you treat a doggone animal. So I'm telling everybody that moves down here to the state of Georgia, you're getting yourself in a lot of trouble. I've been in Georgia for 47 years, and I have not seen one good thing that Georgia judicial system has done. Not one good thing. I know a lot of people say Georgia did Georgia. They do that just to gain people trust. But once you get down here and you get on a bad side, then you're gonna see the real state of Georgia. You get down here and you commit a minor offense. The state of Georgia is not about the Constitution. The state of Georgia about the money. The state of Georgia is not a forgiving state. And it definitely is not a Christian state. Nope. None of the governmental leaders in the state of Georgia who so-called call themselves a Christian are Christians. Because neither one of them exemplify the life of Jesus Christ. Neither one of them does. So I'm just putting it out there to give y'all food for thought. The United States claims to be a Christian ran country. United States, the leaders of the United States are not Christian because they do not exemplify Christ. They don't believe in God. They believe in the money. They always say, in God we trust. That's a damn lie. They always say they're Christian. They are a damn lie. The United States is full of atheists. People who don't even believe in God. 1 John 4:7-8 say, Beloved, let us love one another. For those that love is born of God and knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Then the Bible goes on and say, how can you love a God who you cannot see and hate your brother that you do see? So I'm putting the word out like it is. United States is an anti-Christ country. The state of Georgia is an anti-Christ state. Because neither the United States or the state of Georgia exemplify or show examples or showing how Christ, showing the examples of what Christ desires. They always say, will you tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. The United States is built upon a lie. The United States don't teach their children that back in the day that the slave owner used to rape the black men and women. The United States don't teach in their school buildings the truth about Christopher Columbus and why he was kicked out of England. Because Christopher Columbus was a criminal, a rebellion, a rebel who rebelled against the Queen of England. Christopher Columbus was not no. He did not. Matter of fact, the state of Georgia is teaching people that Christopher Columbus was the first man to discover America. America been here. So America been teaching us lies from the beginning. America, the European, put it like that, the European been teaching lies from the beginning. It was the Europeans who was raping the African Americans, the Africans, the Indians. It was the European who stole the land from the Indians. It was Europeans who go and steal land from people, raping their women and stuff, kidnapping children and having sex with them all the way up to the age of maturity. Let the truth be known. Then when something happened to one of their children, they want to give a man life in prison for something they've been doing for years and still are doing it. If you really want to know who started the doggone sex trafficking, child trafficking thing, it was the European. They're king on sex trafficking. They've been doing it for years and years behind doors. And not just, and it's not the poor people doing it, it's the people in power that does it. And y'all wonder what our children goes to. Y'all wonder what, did they want to come up with, get tough on laws and make this sex offender law and stuff when they was the first sex offenders in the beginning? White folks was the first sex offenders. They was the first rapers. They was the first murderers. They used to go around raping their own women. And raping, if you tell the truth, they the one brought all these diseases into America. It was a white man that brought the AIDS in America and every disease. Because they cannot keep their dingling to themselves. It was the white man who brought homosexuality in America and then legalized it. Now they got every race thinking it's okay to be gay. It was the white man who messed up the law. They didn't want to talk about get tough on crime. How can you get tough on something that you yourself have corrupted from the beginning? Just like back in the day, they said a black man they said the African American man, the African American person, period, was nothing but a burden, a beast of burden. They didn't consider black people human beings. They didn't think that. They didn't consider that the African American people have rights. They said we don't. Back then they said we didn't deserve rights. They looked at us as extinguents, slaves. And slaves did not have rights. We was back in the day. They didn't say we didn't deserve a free will. They wouldn't let an African man read, become intelligent, become an intellectual individual. It took them all the way up to 2020 to see that black life does matter. And that just was a joke. Because if black life matters as it did, then you tell me what changes have been done. And I gotta go because my phone's getting dead.